Hi everyone, welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you live from beautiful Budapest, capital city of Hungary here in Central Europe, very close to the Danube River. All right. Hi Sahil, good to see you nice and early in class. Today it's a members chat class. That's one of the perks or advantages of being a member of Academic English Helps channel. You get to request classes, you get access to our 6 full practice exams, and you get access to our exclusive private video lessons. Sahil, I'm glad you're always ready. All right, today we are doing a task 1 flow chart. The material is coming from our website. I believe this is coming out of test number 2, book number 1. For academic IELTS, aehelp.com. For general IELTS, visit us at gieltshelp.com. We also do live streaming for general IELTS on our General IELTS Help YouTube channel. It's called the General IELTS Help YouTube channel. If you look for General IELTS Help in YouTube, you'll find that channel. We do that 2 hours before this class. So flowchart, it's definitely an academic IELTS task 1. Please keep that in mind. You can download our academic IELTS app from your iTunes or Google Play Store. Just search for Academic IELTS Help and our logo. All right, students. So if you have questions for me, email adrian@aehelp.com. Members, you should keep my email in mind so that you can suggest classes and stay in touch. Schedule coming up January 19th to 31st. Today, again, members chat. Tomorrow, we're filming a new speaking interview for the IELTS that will be rolling out next week. So no class on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Back on Wednesday with speaking part 1 and 2, exercise and strategy. Then we'll do a task 2 open question, reading strategy on Friday, and another members chat on Saturday next week. And then speaking part 3 and some listening to finish the month. Okay, members, let's get right into it. Hi Kesey, hi Preeti, hi Jason G and Naveen. Good to see all of you in class as well as all of the people watching. What's up with me, Jason? I'm feeling good. What's up with you? I hope you're doing well also. Okay, so here we go. You should spend about 20 minutes on this task. No more, no less. 20 minutes. Write minimum 150 words. That's always in the instructions, or write at least 150 words. That's what you need for task completion. And you should be able to write 150 words in 20 minutes. Especially if you want to get band 6 or higher. The chart below shows the hierarchical structure of a marketing company. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. So this is a flow chart. It's one of the 6 different kinds of charts that you might come across in the task 1 of writing. Now, I made it a little bit darker so that's a bit more clear for you. It's okay that I'm a little bit darker. Most of you have seen my face, so that's okay. All right. This is the flow chart. Okay, flow charts are maybe not as common as bar charts or pie charts or line graphs, but you can get one. So be ready, okay? It's important that you're ready to write for a flow chart if you get this type of question. Okay, members, what do I do first? So what should I do first? What's my step number 1? I just got to the writing section. Boom, I opened it up. And this question is looking at me straight in the eyes. What do I do? Sahil says, figure out the intro, figure out the overview. How do I do that? Marwa says, And Naveen agrees, and Sahil agrees, says, yeah, let's just paraphrase the question first. Always a bit more. Vanity, Sean, thank you. Yeah, please, every student. So Marwa, Naveen, Sahil, Kisi, the next time I ask, what do you do first? Type exactly what Vanity, Sean just typed in. Paraphrase and give detail. That give detail is very important. That could be the difference of a 0.5 band. Okay, that 0.5 band difference could be that give detail. Okay, really want you to remember that for your task 1, no matter what you get. Okay, so that's what we want to do. So how can we paraphrase this question? Give me an idea. How can we paraphrase this? And give detail. The chart? No. The flow chart. Okay, right away, that tells your IELTS examiner that, hey, okay, I'm dealing with a high-level student. They know that they are specific here and not just say the chart, but they're telling me right away, I'm looking at a flow chart. The flow chart. You don't need to say things like below, okay? Shows, instead of shows, we can say indicates. Indicates what? What does it indicate? Or what does it depict? Sahil, the flowchart representation furnishes the hierarchical structure of a marketing corporation. It's okay, Sahil. Just for using the word representation furnishes, I'm not going to give you a very good mark. Furnishes is a little bit awkward. I'm just being very honest with you here, okay? It's IELTS. It's not about being nice. I'd rather you put some more detail into your answer. So Naveen says, illustrates the ranking system in a marketing company, okay? We can say marketing company in a different way, Naveen, according to their designation. Designation is good, okay? How many positions do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 positions. How many employees? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So there are 8 employees and there are 7 positions. Why 7 positions? Because both of these people are, these guys are sales managers, right? So pay attention. All right, so the flow chart depicts the 7 positions of 8 employees in now I give you a hint there because I'm using the article an. What's another way to say marketing company? By the way, you're doing a great job so far, girls and guys. So Sahil, Naveen, good job on the paraphrasing, okay? I don't want you to feel like I'm being harsh on you. I just saw Preeti pull back a message. Don't pull back your messages. Just leave them, okay? Mahe says organization. Sure, Mahe, that's okay. There's an easier way to say that. Somebody said advertising. Was that you, Preeti? You should have kept that in there. Oh, Marwa says advertising. Yeah, instead of company, you can use another word. There's a few different ways to paraphrase the word company. Kisi says, the flowchart illustrates the organization of a marketing company, including 7 positions and 8 employees. Kisi, that's nice. So you definitely have some good detail in there. It's making your essay start off nicely, your overview. Not cooperation, Sahil, but corporation, C-O-R-P, okay, corporation. Corporation is good, Sahil. I believe that's what you're thinking. Corporation is okay. Naveen says corporation. Advertising firm is another way you can say it. So the flowchart depicts the 7 positions and 8 employees organization in an advertising firm. Sure. Okay, that works. Am I done? Is there any other piece of information that I can include in my overview for this flowchart? There's definitely one more sentence I can put in there. What else can I include here that makes sense, that I can see right away? So when I look at this flowchart, right away at first glance, I can notice something very, very clearly. Yeah, Mahe, very good. There are 3 levels of hierarchy. Yeah, so Mahe says, look, guys, you can see that there's 3 levels, right? 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 levels in the hierarchy. So we can say that in the overview to finish it off and make it just really stellar, really solid. Okay, so here we go. At first glance, it is clear that there are 3. What's another way to say levels? So instead of the word levels, to this company's hierarchy. Okay. What's another way to say levels that's maybe a little bit of a higher vocabulary? Stage is maybe not the best in this one, Naveen. I wouldn't say 3 stages. It's not bad. It's not bad, Preeti. It's not bad, Naveen. Stage, but there's an even better word. I'll give you a hint. It's a short word that starts with the letter T. Can you think of it? Sahil, altitude? No, altitude would not be in this context. Latitude is not good either. Not teams, but good try, Naveen. Altitude, Sahil, is just for measuring distance from sea level. Highness? No. Starts with a T. 4 letters. Departments is different, Marwa. Departments is different. This could be, so here, careful with that one, Marwa, because this could be a department. This could be a department, right? Advertising department, sales department, marketing department. So those can be different departments. A couple of good tries there. The word is tier, tiers. Okay. It's a new word, I think, for a few of you, which is great. Some new vocabulary. All right, that's a fantastic overview. You do not need more than that. So the flowchart depicts 7 positions of 8 employees, organization in an advertising firm. At first glance, it is clear there are 3 tiers to this company's hierarchy. Okay, Mahe coming up with tier, maybe a little bit before me, but the leg, I think, seems that it's after. All right, here we go. So now we go to the analysis. Or the analyses. And as we do the analyses, of course, as most of you know, you need to take a minute and just identify your points. Okay? So what are my points of comparison? What's my logical point of comparison here? Where should I start? So when looking at this flowchart in more detail, where should I start? What's a logical starting point to create clear writing that's easy for my audience to understand? Yeah, Sahil, absolutely. Don't overcomplicate it. The president. Okay, so number 1, the president at the top of the food chain, the top of the pyramid. Okay, so yeah, I can see that there's some agreement there. So start with the president. Okay, then what's my second one? So what's my second point here? What should be my number 2? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So maybe vice president. Sure. And then what should be my number 3, number 4? The executives, right? Okay, number 2, maybe this one here as well. So you could go a few different directions, and this is the idea of there's more than one way to skin a cat. You might say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 6, 7. So you could do it like that. Or you could go through these first. So you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7. So that's another option. Okay. So I'll show you the different options. One with a circle, one without. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I could do it like that, or I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So those are different ways that I could do it. Okay. Depends on how you write. Anyway, definitely starting from the top here. Now, once I have these, are there any comparisons or contrasts that we can make? So we'll go through this nice and smooth, step by step, don't worry. Can I compare and contrast anything here? Yeah, very good. Mahe says that the executive team is bigger than the other departments. So the sales team, right? This is sales. So this team is bigger than the other teams, right? So I could compare this with these two as a contrast. That's my point number 8, right? And I can compare these two with each other. That's my point number 9, that this and this department, they're both made up of 2 people. The vice president here with 1 subordinate, and here it's the advertising executive also with 1 subordinate. Okay, so that makes sense. Don't get confused. It's fairly simple. Let's start with the president, okay? So write your first sentence for the analysis. Write this number 1. All right? I'll do the same while you write up your first sentence. So here we go with the analysis. All right, write your first sentence, write that number 1, so I can give you some feedback, maybe make some corrections to your grammar or your logic. Don't just look at what I write. Naveen says, the company's chief is Mr. Dobbs, who is not only the president, but also the CEO. Naveen, really nice. I love how you are paying attention to incorporating the correlative conjunction and showing that correlative conjunction right off the bat in your first sentence for the analysis is brilliant. Okay, that's how you get a band 9. So the company's chief is Mr. Dobbs, who is not only president, but also CEO. Beautiful use of adjective clause, beautiful use of correlative conjunction, nice high-level, clear communication. Very good. Good for you, Naveen. Preeti says, Mr. Dubb is the head of the advertising company in charge of the other 7 employees, right? Good. Preeti, it's a good start. Don't need chief head, one or the other. Okay, chief head together is kind of strange. And he is also the CEO of the firm. Okay, good. You can add that. Absolutely. Kesey says, Mr. Dubs, who is at the top of the structure, is the president and CEO of this company. Very good, Kesey. That works also. Is both the president and CEO of this company. Kesey, if you want to make that a correlative conjunction. Okay, I like what you are putting down. Those are some great sentences. So I used a complex sentence when looking at the flowchart in more detail. It is obvious that at the head of the company is the president, Mr. Dubs, who is also the chief executive officer. Why would I do that in this case? Why would I write out CEO to say chief executive officer? Because that shows the examiner that I know the meaning of CEO. Okay, so if you know that it means chief executive officer, CEO, that's great. Okay, what's my next sentence? So let's go for the next sentence. Okay, Vanity says, upon looking at the flowchart, it is obvious that the head of the department, the head of the company, not department, the head of the company, Vanity, Mr. Dobbs is not only the president, but also the CEO of the firm. Yeah, very good. Okay, just not department, Vanity, company. All right. Okay, next sentence, write the next sentence. I'll do the same. Okay, so I decided to take the first approach that I labeled in my key points. Let's see what you have. So Sahil says the organization, don't use the word and, Sahil. Never start sentences with and or but. We only start sentences with and or but in narrative writing. And remember, task 1 is expository writing, so it's very, very uncommon to start a sentence with and or but. So start with the, Sahil. The organization has, remember your plural singular, Sahil. The organization has a number of staff, which includes the vice president, the sales executive, and advertising executive. If you use capitals, Sahil, then the vice president, the V and the P should be big. There's a comma after president. It's a very important comma. Sales executive and advertising executive. So if those positions are titles, then use capitals for the first on all those letters. Okay. Sahil, staff is okay. Members and employees will work also as synonyms, but staff is fine. Naveen says Mrs. Fields is one of the subordinates to Mr. Dobbs and also the vice president of marketing. Very good, Naveen. That will work. Okay, so I think you're going in the different direction to explain this flow here. It seems to me like you've taken the second approach, and that's just a different way to do it. It's fine. It's also effective. All right. Okay. So I'm going to continue here with my point number 3, 4, and 5 and make the connections here while you're writing those in. So again, think about what you can write next. So this connection here, these connections here, and this connection here. So here we go. Connect your information. Each of these mid-level managers or executives have subordinates. Mr. Robbins is the summer intern for Miss Fields. Two sales managers, Mr. Smith and Mr. Numath. Let me make it a little bit smaller so you can see what's going on. Two sales managers, Mr. Smith and Mr. Numath work under Mr. Tremblay and Miss Clark, the advertising manager, answers to Mr. Gartner. Okay. Lots of commas here because it's all expressing one idea. All right. So we're all in one idea here of who works for who. So lots of comma use. This is where you really have to know your comma rules. But here's the sentence that describes that. Again, you can do this different ways. So if you think, hey, I think it's easier, Adrian, just to write about one department at one time, you can do it like that as well. Kesey says, underneath Mr. Dubs is Vice President Ms. Fields, Sales Executive Mr. Tree, and Mr. Gaw, Advertising Executives. Ms. Field is the only woman in the middle of the hierarchy. Sure, yeah, you can compare genders within the company as well, Kesey. That's a clever idea. So where are males and females positions held? Absolutely. That's a good compare and contrast also. Okay, so again, this is what mine reads like. Each of these mid-level executives have subordinates. Mr. Robbins is the summer intern for Miss Fields. Two sales managers, Mr. Smith and Mr. Namath, work underneath Mr. Tremblay. And Miss Clark, the advertising manager, answers to Mr. Gardner. Okay. Let's see what Naveen wrote. Mr. Tremblay is the only sales executive in the second tier, along with Miss Clark, who is the advertising manager. Okay. Sure. Yeah, that works. Again, Naveen, you're taking a different approach. So you're going by department. And I appreciate that, Naveen. So you're giving a nice contrast to what I'm doing. I'm going tier by tier. You're going department by department, which is another approach. Both of them are effective. Okay, that's great. All right. So now I've described the different tiers in the analysis, so I can make some comparisons. What can I compare? The size of the departments. Okay, so both marketing and advertising are composed of 2 employees. In contrast, the sales team has 3 people, right? So here we go. So both the marketing and advertising departments have 2 employees. However, the sales team is made up of 3 personnel. Okay. All right. Quick question, made up. What does this phrasal verb mean in this context? So in this context, what does the phrasal verb made up mean? So the marketing and advertising departments have 2 employees. However, the sales team is made up of 3 personnel. What does made up mean here in this sentence? Consists of, Marwa, is also a phrasal verb. It consists of. Sure. What's another way to say it? Instead of made up. Consist is good. Consists of. Yeah, sorry, my bad, Naveen. Yeah, consists. So made up of is consist. I got confused because you threw in the of. So consists or composed, right? Both of those. So here the phrasal verb is consists or composed. Right, of 3 personnel. Okay, great. And according to Kesey, if we want to be even more precise, we can say that this company is male dominant. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions held by men and 2 positions held by women. So we might mention that as well, paying attention to those details of the Mr. and Mrs. Okay. So furthermore, based on the titles, it is clear that this is a male dominant company with 6 men holding positions as opposed to 2 women. Okay, sure, we can state that. All right. Very good. Now, let's write a summary. Okay, let's write a summary. And I'll read the information coming into the chat, Preeti Sahil, don't worry. So think about the summary based on this information. Preeti says, Mr. Tremblay and Gartner are the sales executives and advertising executives of the company, and Mr. Robbins is junior of Mr. Field and looks after the summer intern in the department. Preeti, the beginning is good. The ending is a little bit confusing. Sahil says both the advertising and the marketing sector have 2 staff members. However, the sales team is made up of 3 personnel. Okay, Sahil, that's pretty good as well. I like how you're testing out the use of correlative conjunctions. That's fantastic. Okay. All right. Great. It's good. So summary, what can we summarize about this flow chart? So when we look at this, is there anything that we can summarize? There's a few different ways to summarize this. Let's see what you come up with. I'm going to do the same, so I'll write a very brief summary. And you do the same. Let's see who ends up with what. Compare and contrast our summaries. So to sum up, this marketing corporation is very clearly structured, and each employee has a line of command to the executive and president. Okay, that could be the summary. It's just something very simple. Okay, Sahil says, to epitomize, the organization works with the help of 8 members. Yeah, Sahil, that'll work. Just a simple summary. To sum up, this marketing corporation is very clearly structured, and each employee has a line of command to their executive and president. Maybe that's a little bit, mine's a little bit awkward. I'm not happy with it. So in the IELTS, I would just cross that out. And rewrite that. Let's see what else you students have come up with while I'm pondering on my summary. Okay, it looks like you're still a little bit behind me. Naveen says, in summary, the firm has given higher importance to the sales department and male employees, and these employees are responsible to one superior, the president. Okay, Naveen, I see where you're going with it. So just a little bit of a rephrase. In summary, this firm gives importance to the sales department and male employees. Period. You might just want to stop there, Naveen. Makes more sense. Is positioned with a clear line of responsibility. I'm going to keep it more simple. To sum up, this marketing company is very clearly structured, and each employee is clearly positioned. There we go. That's it. Okay, I'm just going to stop there. If I feel like I can't really come up with something sensible for the summary, I wouldn't waste too much time with it in the IELTS students. And I might, if I'm not happy with it, I might just cross it out, especially if I have 150 words. Okay? So again, the summary is not absolutely important. It could be useful to get an extra 0.5 band. But if you're having trouble with it, as I am in this case, then I'll just leave it. Okay? Preeti says, to sum up, this company is not only well organized, but it also is distributed into 3 departments with 8 employees. Okay? That could be a good summary, Preeti. Yeah, I didn't think about the 3 departments in the summary. Kisi says, to sum up, this marketing corporation has a very simple structure and everyone has a clear position. Kisi, that works as well. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Yeah, task 1 summary can be a little bit perplexing, Naveen. I agree. And again, if it's overly confusing, don't worry about it. How many words do you think this is? What's your estimate? I would say we've reached the word limit. Let's check it out. So minus 3 words, overview, analysis, and so on. It's 182 words. Okay. So without the summary, it is 163. So even without the summary, we've hit the word limit. It's 163. So it's pretty close. All right. You were pretty close, Sahil. Yeah, with the 175. Okay, good. Now, if you have a minute, quickly review your work. Make sure you didn't make any big mistakes. So the flowchart depicts the 7 positions of 8 employees organization in an advertising firm. At first glance, it is clear there are 3 tiers to this company's hierarchy. When looking at the flowchart in more detail, it is obvious that the head of the company is the president, Mr. Dobbs, who is also the chief executive officer. Underneath Mr. Dobbs are Ms. Fields, his vice president, and Mr. Tremblay, executives of sales, and Mr. Gardner, advertising executive. Each of these mid-level executives have subordinates. Mr. Robbins is the summer intern for Ms. Fields. 2 sales managers, Mr. Smith and Mr. Namath, work under Mr. Tremblay, and Ms. Clark, the advertising manager, answers to Mr. Gardner. Both the marketing and advertising departments have 2 employees. However, the sales team is made up of 3 personnel. Furthermore, based on the titles, it is clear that this is a male-dominated company with 6 men holding positions as opposed to 2 women. To sum up, this marketing corporation is very clearly structured and each employee is clearly positioned. Okay, great. That will definitely get you a band 9 if you have that level of writing and clarity with good grammar. Good job, members. Here, I'll show you something neat. So this is your academic IELTS website. Members, I highly recommend using the full course. I know many of you have it. For those of you that don't, if you log into your My Student account, I want to show you a useful tool since we have a little bit of time. So when you go to your My Student account, there you can find a lot of help for writing task 1. So here we have our editing services. Okay, I'll make it even a bit darker because it's got a bright background here. It's a light gray, so it's much brighter. Here, so you can see this big green button here, task 1. If you click on that, then you get to this page here, which is a word processor. And in this page, you can choose a task 1 question from this drop-down menu. Notice here, when I click it, okay, it says audio, medium, company flow, divorce chart, and so on. So here is an example. Okay, this one you can see is a pie chart type question. And then you can type here and you can send it to us and we can check your work. Now, if you want us to correct your work, then that does cost money, but it's a very good tool. Okay, and there's another tool that I want to show you, so bear with me here, it's useful. Okay, if you go to, of course there's a full course and videos about task 1 and all that, but I'm just showing you some extra points here because I know many of you have the full course and I'm not sure if you're checking this, but here there's a blog on our website as well. So if you go to that blog on the website, you see these interesting titles like IELTS Task 2 Writing Samples, Band 8 to Band 9. So here are some example essays for Task 2. Now we have some great blogs for Task 1 also, especially this one here. So Academic IELTS Task 1, Useful Vocabulary for Graphs and Diagrams. So check out that blog, okay? When I click on it, there's a paragraph description there, and then some useful verbs, some notes on how to use them, down verbs, adjectives. So definitely check that out, okay? So check out that vocabulary blog. Go around the site, move around the site, check out different parts of it. There's lots of useful information. Is that clear? I've kind of noticed that you've stopped chatting with me. I'm still paying attention to the chat. Is that kind of clear? So there's a lot of useful information in there. So move around the website, use different parts of the website, okay? And of course, I'm really hoping that you're going through the fully interactive course, because as you can see, there's a full section on writing task 1. It's broken into 2 parts. So if you click on that, then you have a fully interactive course that explains exactly your task 1 assignment, okay, in a course setting. So please use it, okay? Thanks for giving me some feedback, Kisi, Jason, Marwa, okay? I'm happy you're using it, Kisi. I'm happy that I was able to bring that to your attention, Marwa, those sections of the course. Okay. All right, students, any questions, members, about task 1 or this flow chart? Anything that's not clear? Or if you have a off-topic question about IELTS, about the different sections, now's a good chance. Yeah, Jason, go ahead. What question do you have? So just fire them at me. Sahil, I just did a task 2 on the general IELTS help YouTube channel. So check that out. I'm sure it will be available later today. So check that out. Yeah, Jason, go ahead. Ask about reading. That's fine. Yeah, ask me a question about reading. So I'll open it up for a couple of minutes. Please, yeah. You don't have to worry, members, about asking me if you can ask a question. Just ask it. Okay, if I can't answer it, then no worries. Vanity, you wanted to know how to answer a company flow. That was this one here, right? Vanity? Did this not answer the question? So this is a company flow chart here. That was this class. Are we on the same page here, Vanity? Did you have a different question when you said company flow? Did you have a different idea in mind? Sahil, yes, you can use slang in speaking, but it's not a good idea usually. Wanna, gonna, yeah, that's simple slang. So you can use wanna. Sahil, wanna is spelled W-A-N-N-A, not W-A-N-A-A. So you can use it though. Wanna, gonna, that's simple slang. Yeah, you can use simple slang like that, absolutely. Marwa says, in listening part 3 multiple choice, what is the best strategy? I never have enough time to read the questions and I can't answer. Marwa, you should use multiple strategies for that. One is logic. So logic can help you a lot in your multiple choice. The other is try to answer the question from your mind first. So pay a special attention, Marwa, to the question or the statement, not the choices. So when you prepare for IELTS, when you see those multiple choice questions in the listening, look at the statement, try to paraphrase it, don't worry too much about the answers, and then try to catch what the end or the answer is to that statement. And then you will be able to pick out the right choice, even if you didn't have time to read the choices. I hope that kind of makes sense. Jason, for the reading, you should only look at questions before the passage that have information which is in the passage. So, for example, don't look at questions like true, false, not given before you read the passage, because there's a lot of information that's false or not given. So don't read all questions, Jason, before you read the passage, just questions that have information which is in the passage, like fill in the blanks or summary completion. Okay, you're very welcome, Marwa. All right, members, great job in today's class. If you have questions or if I missed your question, don't stress, don't panic. Just send me an email, okay? I'll be happy to help you out, maybe even send you an example or two. So you know my email address, hopefully, by this time. It's adrian@aehelp.com, so send me your questions there. And if you haven't joined the full course yet, do that at aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. Thank you so much. Yeah, Marwa, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. There's kind of a rule in IELTS that you're not supposed to move around in sections, but you still should have your reading questions in front of you. So yes, you might be able to sneak some questions in. But the reading, Marwa, I mean, it doesn't make a lot of logical sense because listening section is first, reading section is second. So you can't start the reading section until the listening section finishes. So you can't really do anything with the reading section because listening section's first, Marwa, right? So thinking about it logically, it won't work. Yeah, that's exactly what Naveen's saying. So Naveen's saying they haven't given you the reading booklet yet. Okay. All right. Good job, students. Again, keep it up. Practice every day. I will see you on Wednesday. Sahil, writing is beautiful. Absolutely. It is our non-verbal form of communication aside from body language. It's a beautiful way to communicate. It's persistent through history. You're very welcome, everyone. Have a great sleep if you're getting ready for bed. And again, I will see you on Wednesday on this channel for speaking part 1 and speaking part 2. Peace out, members. Much love to all of you. Thanks for your support.